the past few years, we have made slow but steady progress in women's representation. But the broken rung, which is the first step to becoming a manager, continues to hold women back. And now the COVID-19 crisis is threatening to erase the gains of many past years. This pandemic, however, also has presented us an opportunity for companies to make significant investments in building a more flexible and empathetic workplace and create more opportunities for women to succeed in the long term. Joining me today is Neeti Wahi, the Group CIO at Sterlite Power, who also happened to be one of the first women CIOs in GE in India. We'll hear from her real story on what works for her and how she makes it work. Thank you for joining us, Neeti.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Neeti, what are some traits you think great leaders possess?
Well, I think leadership in itself is actually a fairly difficult act. And leadership is mostly about growing people, having faith in people, being ready to invest your time in coaching people and get them to work and deliver on your vision. So I think one of the first few things would be a good leader should have enough energy within themselves, energy coupled with a vision of where they want to take their team to and what they want to achieve. Next to that actually is the ability to energize itself so that people also have the same faith as what you have in your team and are willing to work for you. The third trait, I think, which is key to being a leader is, the ability to take tough calls when required. And, that's where your entire experience comes in handy. Fourth, I think, which stays throughout your career, also a trait that leaders need to have is always keeping in mind that execution pays. So no matter where and what level you're at, execution is key.
I was smiling when you said the answer, energy and energizer. That's something I always say that, you have to be able to energize the team and you have to have the energy yourself to then get to the execution, right? Neeti, continuing with that question then, can you tell me about an opportunity you seized in the moment, which may not have been the best personal timing, but you seized it to gain the momentum?
I've had opportunities where, again, with very young kids, I got onto a program within GE, a leadership program called EIMP, Executive IMP, which is for coaching senior people within technology in GE, grooming them for the next CIO positions, etc. I took it and I moved around to different places, doing small rotations, doing projects in different places across the world. I mean, they sent me off to the US for some time, to Mexico for some time. So I think opportunities are there. We've got to grab them. We see men around us grabbing them all the time. So why not? They have the same family lives. They have, everything is the same.
But is there anything else in terms of advice you'd give to mothers, first-time mothers about how they manage, how they should look at work?
Both the times that when I had my kids, the first time around, I came home the second day and I logged in and I was working. I started working. So to me, maternity did not mean that you're off work at all, actually. I would say, while people think that if this has happened to me in my life, it's such a large transformation that I can't do anything else right now. I don't think so. I think that there is a balance that you will need to create for yourself and strike for yourself. And if you have a support system, great. If you don't, ask for one. You should be shameful enough to ask for one, that you need it, because for you, both the things are equally important. But yeah, in my team, when women have gone through this kind of a phase, I've been very clear with them that I will extend whatever flexibility is required. And I have to say, I've been very fortunate. So as long as work is getting done and women are very responsible towards their work, I absolutely see no reason. But what I found, was more important and required, and is something that I did, was to coach the men in my team. That if you have something like, someone like that in your team or a peer who's coming back, then what's the kind of support we need to extend to them? So while people focus on the support required for women, I think there's a lot more coaching required for men on how to allow women to ease back into their working positions. I was very fortunate that my managers were such that, I started working from home and they were fine. They said, yeah, please continue. We never even felt you were out. You were just out for the first 2-3 days. That's it. So that's what I believe in, that we need to coach both. It's not just that, we can't just only keep telling the women what they need to do to be able to manage.
I agree. I think the men aspect is, very relevant one. I remember coming back from my first maternity break, taking on a large promotion and realizing that the men continue to call me at the same hours that they did before, right? And I took a clean 6 month, no work, coming back, becoming my peer's boss. And they still called me at like 7 o'clock or 6 o'clock just to chat up on things that they hadn't spoken to me during the work hours. Neeti, what is one leadership lesson you've learned in your career that you swear by?
Okay, so one is be approachable, so that people feel that you're approachable and they can come to you. The second is, I think there are a lot of great ideas that come from people on the ground. So when someone comes to you with a problem, I usually like to ask them what their view is of the solution as well. Okay, and this is something that I learned very early on, because this gentleman would, we would go in saying we have this issue, this issue, and he would throw it back to us, back at us saying, why don't you come back after a day with some thoughts around how one can solve this? And, we'd go back with 3-4 things, and he'd improvise, obviously, if there were gaps, but usually we solved everything that we could that way. So I think these are two things that I like to practice myself as well.
Neeti, as a woman leader, what has been your most significant barrier in your career, and how did you overcome it?
Honestly, I don't think I've had any such barriers. I don't think so, because I was a bit of the rebel. So there was a time in my life when my parents wanted me to settle down, and GE was giving me opportunities overseas, and they pretty much gave me the ultimatum, but I still went. So I don't think I succumbed to any such barriers ever. I think the only thing where I think there's a little bit of a limitation is once you have a family, etc., then you've got to plan your career a little better, because if you're getting opportunities in other cities, other locations, you can't just take off on your own, right? You have responsibilities. You have larger other responsibilities as well. That's perhaps the only thing I feel. But then I feel if you're in the right company and the right job, and they're throwing challenges at you at all times, then even that's not an issue.
Neeti, we've seen the acceleration of technology adoption in this wake of pandemic. And as a technology leader, do you see this impacting the workplace overall? And do you think it will drive more inclusion for women in the workplace?
For women, yes. What a great positive. I mean, women who've had to who don't have support systems and who have to deal with balancing things. Hopefully this is working to their advantage. I think for men who are at home also, hopefully have come to realize and appreciate what it takes to run a house and are contributing, because I think it should go both ways. So I think certainly it should have driven much more inclusion for the women workforce, of course. I think for everybody for that matter.
Neeti, can you share some insights on one of your most rewarding projects and why you picked that one?
Well, we don't always pick our projects. Sometimes they just come with the job. Okay, so we were trying to revamp so there was this phase, when financial services was really going through a period of turmoil. We were getting, really questioned that the numbers are going down, delinquencies are going up, and what is technology going to do to control all of this, etc. So we actually, and it was a lull period for business. Okay, and in some ways, I would say. Could be used as what's happening even now during, when COVID set in. Businesses typically, underwent a downturn, really, So that was a lull period for financial services. We weren't doing very well. We weren't disbursing a lot because we had to be very, very strict about credit underwriting, etc. So we started. So we took that as an opportunity to say, how do we plan for the next boom that's going to come? Okay, now something like that means you are talking about pulling people into rethinking the way you do business and bringing up a technology stack to support it as well, which means investment. So who's going to invest at this time? I think I found that as a very rewarding project because we picked up 4 areas really. Okay, we picked up 4 areas to work on, and we pitched it to the business, and the business really liked the idea and asked us to go for it. We picked up the originations area. We picked up servicing as an area, because but in financial services domain, customer service is also very important with products which have high transactions like a credit card. And then we picked up 2 other areas, one of which was revenue generating as well. And we ran this program during this time, which was a tough time to get approvals on investments. We ran it for good 2 years. It took us more than a year to actually get the approval on the investment for changing 4 platforms in one go. But that approval came, and I didn't stay on in that particular role for very long after that. I mean, the approvals came, we started some of the implementations, and I moved on to another role. But in hindsight, when I look back and I look at that company, they've done huge numbers after that when the business cycle changed. And I feel very delighted that they were able to do that because of some of the prudent thinking we perhaps had at that time, that, let's get ready for volume now. It's a lull period. This is the time to prepare for the next thing.
So what advice would you give women who want to differentiate themselves, reach your level of success? What are your recommendations or tips for women in workforce?
Well, I think one, there's no shortcut to hard work. Secondly, I think you've still got to be smart about keeping an eye out for opportunities and grabbing them when they're there. And the third thing I'd say is leverage your support system. There's no shame in doing that, and ask for more of it if you need it. We outsource all the time in our businesses. So what's wrong in outsourcing housework and other things like that? Nothing at all. I mean, decide what your priorities are and just go for it. There's nothing stopping you. The ball is always in your court.
I love that. The ball's always in your court, and you outsource so many things at work. So why not? Why not? It's okay for someone in office to bring you a cup of chai. Why not at home, right?
Yeah, so, absolutely.
Neeti, we'll move to a rapid fire round. What's your favorite city in India besides the one you live in?
Pune.
Who's your favorite superhero?
I think I like Iron Man.
He seems to be really popular. A lot of people pick Iron Man for some reason, but okay. If you could time travel, would you go back into the past or go to the future?
I think I'd go into the future.
If you could have a dinner party with any 4 people in the world, who would be on your invite list?
So I would like to have dinner with Barack Obama, Indra Nooyi. I'd like to have Jack Welch. I never had the opportunity of meeting him, so that's the reason. And who else? Steve Jobs.
Wow, what I'd give to be a fly on that wall. What's your favorite quote?
My favorite quote? I don't really know if it's a quote or not, but this is what I keep telling my kids all the time, that there's no shortcut to hard work.
We'll take that. What's the best piece of advice you've ever been given?
I think I've been told to play to my strengths.
Thank you very much, Neeti. It was wonderful spending this time and getting to hear about you, your story of how you got into leadership, your journey through it, all the adventures you've been at it, and what's next as well. So thank you very much. I really enjoyed getting to spend this time with you.
Well, thank you for giving me this opportunity.